And a glorious good afternoon to each and every one. Each and every Thursday in the 2 o'clock hour to remind you that you have power and say so in your government. Malcolm X once said, education is our passport to the future because tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Government and how it functions impacts you 24/7, 365. So we all have to get smarter about it. And that's why we're here. I'm your host, Angela Taylor, and I am here with my absolute favorite millennial, Michaela McCray. I call her Eminem because she does not melt under the pressure. And we also have a special guest in studio today, Tanya Wingfield. And I became acquainted with Tanya Wingfield because I watched the board meetings online. Every time she's working kind of solo in holding folks accountable with our babies. So since we have school board folks on the ballot in November, we have got to clean up some house here. So that being said, we're gonna move right on into it because we're gonna work hard to be compliant with our 1 hour. We're not going to have too many disco versions this year. But I want to take a minute at the top because, again, this is something, too, that we're going to implement this year, is we're going to promote some black businesses. Because, again, economic power is what we really have to embrace. If it's a black business, we have to support it. And I have this a black woman out of Baltimore. She has a website that's bepretty.petty.com. That's BEPRETTYNOTPETTY.com, where she sells women's clothes, particularly for plus size women especially. So you want to take a look at that website and definitely support that business. Also have, do you want to take the second one? Eminem.
Yes. What happened?
We were talking about businesses.
Oh.
Okay, I did one. Your turn. You do the other.
Oh, did you do?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
That's why I saved that for you. Mimi.
I'm gonna let you do it because you know why?
Why?
I'm not prepared, unfortunately, and I don't want to butcher it. So,
okay.
Allie, you back to you.
Okay. We also have Malika Phillips, Mimi, your go-to girl. Now, her number is 240-439-7813. Now, if you want to look good, because she is a true Jamaican, okay, because she has her own salon, okay, so if you want to look good and you want to do some good skincare, you want to go to Mimi, your go-to girl. Her salon is in Salon Plaza in Oxon Hill. She's in Suite 120, and she does it all. As you can see, I'm not going to take my earphones off so you can see my hair, but it's absolutely gorgeous. As is my skin, because she gives me skincare advice as well. She also has, for you, if you want to feel good, she has a mobile cocktail business. Now, she is the high limit bartender at the MGM Grand over in Fort Washington, Hyattsville, Fort Washington, Oxon Hill. But COVID forced her, because she has 3 children, into a cocktail business. So she has mobile cocktails, and her motto is, liquor should be felt and not tasted. And yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
So again, same number, 240-439-7813. And last but certainly not least, if you want to smell good, she also markets perfume check. It's cocoa butter and shea butter based, but it's scented. Keeps the mosquitoes off. I ain't had a mosquito bite since I've been buying that stuff. I have not. So
I wouldn't have been able to do her justice like that. You look, give it up for you. Give it up for you. I love that. Love that.
Okay. But again, her number is 240-439-7813. So you got 2 businesses. Be pretty, not petty. If you want to, get dressed up ladies. And if you want to feel good, look good, smell good, Mimi, your go-to girl.
Top tier.
Okay.
Top tier. Yeah.
Okay. So without further ado, let me make sure I'm doing this right. We're going to move to our special guest, Tanya Wingfield, because as I told you at the top, she always brings receipts. And maybe she can even tell us a little bit about some of these folks who are, where's my list of these folks who I wrote? Give me a minute, Tanya. Okay. Yeah, there it is. She knows more about the school board than probably these school board members, and I'm so not joking about that. So, and I bought this with me. Ooh. Yeah. So you can tell folks about these folks who are currently on the school board. I think David Murray, he's resigned because he had a job in a whole nother state.
Missouri.
So, and I think, what is the girl's name? Tiffany Anderful. Do you know her?
No, not.
That too is, she's running unopposed in District 1. That's his district.
Well, actually, we had sent some inquiries up to the Board of Elections because since David had to resign and David knew he was not going to be able to serve, we were trying to figure out why the third person didn't move up so that there's two people running in the general.
Really? So, because I just came off of Ballotpedia. She's the only one listed.
Yeah, that needs to be revisited because it's one thing to say that David Murray actually started his employment in Missouri in December 2023.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He just got caught.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? And the sad thing about it, him just getting caught, it was in March because after he missed his third board meeting, and the board policy is after 3 consecutive meetings you missed, the chair is supposed to call the board together and they're supposed to look at should he be removed.
Right.
Well, we contacted the board in March, but of course the chair at that time, Judy Mickens Murray, just sat on it and didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he knew before he registered for re-election that he already had that job in Missouri, wasn't coming back.
Oh, wow.
So that's based on that, we have asked of the Board of Elections, shouldn't the person who came in third actually move up?
Right.
And so we'll see, but it's just not fair to that person because David should not have ever been in the primary election.
Well, also, I have been getting bombarded on my home phone with calls from Shayla Adams Stafford's folks, her husband specifically. And can you share? And I looked on Ballotpedia because I thought that, since I'm getting all of these calls, that of course she has someone running against her. And
she's running
unopposed as well. So I'm wondering why I'm getting all these calls. Maybe it's because I've been beating her up.
Well, I was actually shocked myself to see the large campaign signs out in the Glenarden area because, again, she's running unopposed. But I guess what we need to look out for is the fact that Jolene Ivey, more than likely, because we know there's not enough Republican votes for a Republican to get the at-large seat that was vacated by Mel Franklin. So more than likely, Jolene is going to be moving into that at-large position, which frees up her District 5 position.
Where I live.
Which is where she lives also.
Okay, but also at a candidate forum for the at-large seat, I wasn't at this particular forum, but I have people everywhere. Okay. She was asked directly if the county executive seat became vacant, would she run for it? And she said, without even flinching, yes, she would. So to my mind, that brings up some more money that we're going to have another special election for.
Right. Oh, you're talking about Jolene.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's more money. And see, all of this stuff is politics.
And we're
folks.
already broke. We're already
Yeah,
already in debt because of the
171
way,
million.
Yeah, because of the way the county council has been spending.
Yeah.
So causing all of this additional spending that we really don't have, to me, it just shows a lack of commitment to what is important to the people
Yeah, exactly.
beyond your career.
Yeah, and the education is a hot button issue. I don't care where you go, but especially in Prince George's County.
Oh, yes.
So, can you tell us something about Shayla Adams Stafford?
Okay, well, she is the district, was it District 5?
District
4
4
board member. We currently do have a request. Well, we put in a request for her removal
Yeah.
from the board.
Why is that?
Well,
Tell us why.
it is because...
Or do you want me to read it?
No, well, you know what? Well, we asked for the request for her removal, which is on top of this.
What?
This is on top of that.
Okay.
So now, granted, anytime there's an accusation brought against any board member, we believe everybody has a right to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So we're not questioning that.
Right.
What we are questioning is that Mrs. Adams Stafford had submitted invoices for payment in the amount of $36,111.92. And upon reviewing those invoices, because we did request copies of it through a PIA request, but after reviewing those invoices,
And PIA is Public Information Act.
Thank you, Angela. So after reviewing the invoices, what we found was the invoices was referencing defending her in a matter that, one, the investigation had already concluded. So it was talking about the ethic panel investigation, which ended in May of 2021. And these charges go from July 28th, 2021, all the way to January 2023.
No.
Now, during the time, this timeline of where these invoices, supposedly services were incurred, we had this ethic panel report that came out. The local board took no action on that report from the time it was released in, we're talking, I think that was in June 2021, until June 2022. So that's an entire year. There was no action taken on the ethic panel report, but yet and still she's submitting invoices with the claim that she's seen an attorney who's representing her during the investigation of by the ethic panel.
Yeah.
The other part you got to remember, the ethic panel members had resigned, and that lie that they're telling that they resigned because they were had done corruption with the investigation, that wasn't. They resigned because they were being lied on by these board members. Mrs. Adams Stafford was one. And they just felt it wasn't worth putting their families through this, like what they saw Dr. Juanita Miller go through. So that's why they resigned. It had nothing to do with the investigation. And so, but during, she had invoices that were saying that services were rendered during the time nothing was being done. And then after the board did take action in July of 2022, there's a claim that there was services being rendered, but her attorney never filed anything in her defense with the State Board of Education after the local board sent the paperwork asking for her removal. There's not one stitch of paper that the attorney filed. Now, who's going to pay an attorney that is writing all these briefs and motions on your behalf but never filing nothing? Not one piece of paper filed.
But if your buddy is the head of the school board and she has to sign off on it, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, because, well, that was the other thing. They tried to say that the bill that was passed, HB 1079, actually said that that would qualify for her bills to be paid. Well, we got a copy of the opinion that was given to the board by their attorney, their counsel at that time, which was Bradley Farrar, and he explained to them that under this bill, you could not get your bills paid because you would have to be defending yourself. They were actually prosecuting an action against the board. That was one. The other thing is when the reports for the ethic panels were submitted, they never, ever tried to defend themselves. Not one piece of paper, not one motion, not one letter, not letter of explanation was ever submitted to the state board in her defense. And then finally, there was a bill in January of 2023 saying representing her during the ethic panel investigation. You didn't even have an ethic panel in place. So we're talking about $36,000
of fraud.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. And the board has been given copies of every invoice. And this is where we need to hold the current board members accountable.
Right.
Because they could have stopped this.
Right.
Everybody has a vote.
Right.
And so the fact, and let's say that the board chair, the former board chair, Judy Mickens Murray, paid this without their knowing. They could have brought her up and held her accountable.
Without a doubt.
Because how do you let this happen? How do you let that happen?
Exactly.
Just money walk out the door.
Exactly. Well, remember she also approved payments of her legal expenses, which we never knew that she needed to have an attorney to pay for services.
Wow.
What did they do?
Well, now, Ms. Mickens Murray.
Drop the T. We love T drop here. Drop the mic, sis. Do your thing.
We had asked for her removal because of incompetence.
Yeah.
And the payment of those invoices are part of it.
Yeah.
The Mickey Murrays?
Yeah. Judy Mickens Murray, the one who was running for, because we went to that forum together. She was running for the at-large seat. Yeah.
Lady with I remember her shoes.
Who promised unwavering integrity. So
she has her own definition of that clearly, but continue. I apologize.
So we had asked for her removal based on the fact that every meeting conducted since she took the chair position was an OMA violation. She was holding meetings without giving proper notice to the public. She was holding meetings where, one, she changed the order of discussion so that the public testimonies came after they voted. The payment of these invoices, there were actions that were being done in the back room that should have been done in the public. And so because of that, we asked for her removal for incompetence. Now, the other thing, from what I gathered with the PIA that we requested, apparently there was some type of dispute where a employee had filed actions against her. And so those were the legal fees that were paid, which was like somewhere around $6,000. But we got all this stuff going on in that back room,
Really.
and they're not telling the public.
Well, my thing is, and again, these are names, folks, that if you see them on a ballot, you need to take this information into consideration, if you will.
Yes.
Because when I think about $6,000, when I think about this $36,111.92, I think about these notes that teachers send home. Hey, I need some Clorox wipes. I need this. I need that. I need the other. This is what, and again, since she is running unopposed in District 4, according to Ballotpedia, because again, I just think it's very odd that I'm getting personal phone calls to my house from her campaign, and most specifically her husband. So I don't know.
That is weird.
It's very weird.
It sounds like a campaigning for another position, but we have to have proof.
Yeah, but again, we in District 4, we have to find someone and galvanize that person. Somebody who actually cares about what happens in the community.
Yes.
And she has shown us, along with Judy Mickens Murray, that they are not those people. So let's move on.
Well, I do want to actually give an accolade to Dr. Kenneth Harris. Now, he was caught up in one of an invoice being paid that should not have been paid, but he did the right thing. He paid the money back to the school system.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, now let's go down. Now we're moving to District 5, because that's where I have a vested interest in, because my grandsons go to school in District 5. Can you tell us anything about the incumbent, Zafora Miller, because she does, in fact, have a challenger?
Yes, she does. Now, the incumbent, remember now, she was appointed to that position by the county executive to fill the position or the time for
the little Muslim girl.
Rahila. And but here's my issue, and I have spoken this to her. So
I know that.
I ain't saying nothing new.
Ain't saying nothing she ain't heard.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. My disappointment with her performance is to the fact that she has sat by and seen these things happen
and done absolutely nothing.
And done nothing. She had copies of those invoices,
right?
For that Shayla, those fake invoices that were submitted. And before we even had to take action to go to the state, we tried to get the board to do what they were supposed to do. Nobody other than Dr. Juanita Miller was standing up.
Right.
Everyone else was folding like a sandwich and not doing what they were supposed to do. So my problem is we need people not only that can that have integrity, but they got to have courage. And because I'm not going to challenge her integrity, because I do know her from church. Yeah. But the courage is not there, which is what we need for children. Yeah. We need someone who, when you see one of your board members doing the wrong thing, you're going to vote according to the board policy, because that's what you're supposed to do, and not vote about thinking, well, I'm running for election and what will this person think? No, we don't care about this. There are children. Your customers are children.
Exactly.
And that's who you should be focusing on. So because I have not seen that, I know that is somebody I would not. She's not someone I would endorse. I have her opponent,
challenger,
Robin.
Robin Brown.
Robin Brown. We've talked to her. We've asked Robin about her stance on things. When Pointer Ridge was going to be forced to be closed, right. Robin was out there with other parents working and lobbying to make sure that Pointer Ridge stayed open. She was looking at school policy, giving feedback on policies because we got to remember, we have some policies that haven't been updated since the 70s. Yes. Draconian. So she has been looking into that. So, and the thing is, she can't afford to lose her credentials for her job. Right. And so I believe, with those things in place, that she will bring what we need on that board for District 5.
Bigger than, the biggest thing that I like about her, I like all of those things that you said, but she got kids in public school, which is, I don't know, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me a board member that has got that. Tell me somebody in government that got kids in public school, because I don't know none.
I don't know any.
Okay, so she.
Well, Lolita Walker does.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
but she ain't on my list.
Right.
Okay, but again, these are the things I really believe that the electorate needs to just keep in mind. And again, you can find all of these people who are running for public office at Ballotpedia. Go and look at their, because they have a little summary. That little C to the side of their name. Go and look at that. I think she has a I know she has a website.
She does.
Do you have that information, Eminem? Because I think you.
Whose website?
Oh, Robin.
Robin Brown. I'm gonna take that as a no.
I got you. There's always a ram in the bush. We love that for us. We love a ram in the bushels. We do. Because we team Robin over here.
Mm-hmm.
So her website is www.robinbrown4pgcps.com. Again, that's www.robinbrown4pgcps.com.
Mm-hmm.
She can also be looked up on Robin Brown 4 PGCPS on Instagram and Robin Brown 4 PGCPS on Facebook.
And she can also be looked up on Ballotpedia.
Yes.
Okay.
Early voting is October 24th through the 31st. The election day is November 5th, everybody.
Yeah.
And don't
Let's-
forget that donate button on her website.
Yeah. Let's make a change, because we need change starts one person at a time. And in District 5, I truly do believe that she is that person.
Yes.
Okay.
And her marketing is top tier.
Okay. Now Kenneth Harris has a challenger as well. Somebody named.
Ooh.
Can you tell us anything about that?
You know, we had Dr. Moss on our chat, and he came across, you know, very informed, understanding education.
Mm-hmm.
Our issue with that we have found is his connection to this David Murray situation.
Oh, okay.
Because David Murray worked at American U as a adjunct faculty in the very department that Dr. Moss was
okay.
in. Yeah, that he headed. So how can you not know an employee's not showing up for work?
Yeah, exactly. So in his milk ain't clean either.
Yeah.
And he was out of the state.
Yeah.
And a whole job out of the state. And get
And he had to have residency. His residency had to be in that
Really?
community.
Oh, I did not-
Yes.
I'm just trying to get one job. He holding down 2 jobs. That's so not fair. That's so not fair. That's nepotism. I hate it.
Yeah. So that's the problem that we have with him. And the thing about Dr. Harris that I will say, because there was a time when Dr. Harris was a part of that clique on that board.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when you realize you're heading down the wrong path and you turn around to do the right thing,
Yeah, I can
that's
respect
what
that.
you remember.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can respect that.
That's what you focus on. And so, hey, we're behind Dr. Harris.
Okay. All right. What
Okay,
about,
we'll stay behind him. I won't say nothing.
Okay. Okay. Last but certainly not least, District
Well,
8.
We always put ourselves in a position in Prince George's County where we got to vote the lesser of.
Yeah.
Don't-
And we're trying. And
Don't get me started.
Yeah, and we're trying to weed that out. We're working to get to a point where we can actually vote for folks
Yes.
who have our best interests.
Yes.
But the only way we do that is we show up at board meetings. We pay attention to give your Facebook page, because that is a very interesting.
Citizens for Accountability and Governance.
Yeah, y'all write that down. Do we need to spell that out? No.
And don't forget, every Wednesday at 6:30, CAG Chat.
That's it. And you can go back in on the Facebook page and look at them if you miss them. So we got to do that. Okay, we got one more candidate, because again, you're my go-to person for school system. You and Angela Boyd, but you more than Angela Boyd. Okay, Zakia Goins McCants. She's District 8, and she has a challenger, Angela Jones. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, both of these candidates I don't know a lot about.
Okay.
But, and this is the confusing part, because I'll be honest, the one thing that we always look for, who has been endorsed by Progressive Maryland? And that
I got you.
Back up. Yep.
Endorsed by Progressive Maryland. I think that Shayla Stafford's husband is the head of that.
He's the head of it.
Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
he's the head of it. So both of them had that on their website, though. So we have to do a little bit more digging in on that. I think it's important that people need to understand, and it's not that we are against the progressive movement, but this progressive group that is in Prince George's County.
We know them.
We need to, exactly, and we need to understand the amount of money that has been wasted because of their agendas. the close to $300,000 that had to be paid to defend Dr. Juanita Miller against lies that they and you're wondering, they signed affidavits.
Yeah.
Why weren't they arrested? They perjured themselves. So they signed affidavits, but they're still running around free like ain't nothing happened.
Nepotism and perjury. Like, I know I'm the wrong color. I know I am.
No, these people, wait a minute, these people look like us.
They look like us.
They look like us.
They the sellouts. Ain't no way.
David Murray is the only one. Wait a minute, look at us.
Yeah.
Let me pass that across the table. So
Now,
you can
y'all
see.
ought to be
Up close,
ashamed
different.
of yourselves. Y'all ought to be ashamed. Ain't got the nerve to have nice white teeth. just smiling and doing wrong.
So, and remember, the judge who, the judge for Dr. Juanita's Miller case, he put it in black and white. He said he is convinced that these people actually intentionally created a hostile environment for Dr. Miller. He even said that
and no action.
No action. He even, if you read his opinion, he speaks about how they gave testimonies that wasn't even consistent with the evidence that they presented.
So wait a minute, I'm confused. Because I done had a whole nother story going on in my head of what y'all was talking about today.
Okay.
So Zipporah Miller.
Now, she's not part of the progressives as far as we know.
Not. Yeah.
So these other people, David Murray.
Yeah, that's the one who just resigned. He has dual residency, one in Prince George's
This
County.
man.
Yes, after being paid, after collecting his stipend every day, the last school board meeting he attended was in November
Of last year?
of 2023. 2023. He didn't come to any meeting in 2024 until July 1st and want to come in and vote who should be chair
Yeah.
of the board. Yeah.
This ain't nothing but audacity. Because wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's a young fella too.
Oh, yes.
How young is he? He a millennial?
He
He probably a millennial.
20.
I am no.
Oh, so I
he's
don't know
your
his age.
Now he out here embarrassing us. Now. But I ain't even look. 'Cause I'm always.
Maybe in his mid-30s because I think
That's still a millennial. Still a millennial. But I'm gonna say this. One thing millennials know how to do is work multiple jobs. So.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not working multiple jobs. It's because I went
Because he ain't working, he hustling.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hustling backwards because how you get caught, sir?
Well, because he's telling it, he told a lie. I went ahead and subscribed to that Missouri newspaper so I can read the story on my own. He had the audacity to tell them when he was hired on December 20th that he just needed a few weeks and maybe a month to back away from his school board job. And then on the 26th of December, filed for re-election. Yeah.
W-O-W.
Bro, how he get caught? That's just dumb.
But again, when the electorate does not pay attention, when the electorate thinks that they have no power, which having taken civics and government out of school.
But respectfully, it's a certain type of person that can undo that knowing respectfully to present it how eloquently Miss Tanya has done today. In reality, the hope and the desire is I want to buy into this narrative and I want to believe and have faith in you, but we have designed a system where it's like, I have to almost like give you all of my trust, give you all of my heart at one moment, and I really have to hope with all the being in me that you're not going to do me wrong, but then you do me wrong, and then in 4 years I have to try and hope that again. The American people are tired. We're tired.
I get that, but the biggest part to that, to your narrative, is that we are uneducated. We don't know. We have been beaten down so much that we and especially with the information taken away from us, and I truly believe it's by design, so we can have any old body.
Well, but
flop on in there.
You don't have to have gone through a civics course or an AP Gov or take history in college to even understand just how simply the desire of voting. I mean, because they kind of condition us to vote from like being.
But you got to know how government works. Would you agree with? Or no?
you don't need to know how government works to do local government, because you're just voting and you're giving faith to someone. You don't have to know how many electoral colleges do
but you really have
it's
to.
the accountability part. You don't need it to know how to vote, but
Yeah.
they kill us with the accountability part.
And that's what I'm saying. You
Yes.
got to know how it works. People don't believe that they can hold these folks accountable. They believe.
But I think that part is what's subjective to me. It's like, okay, if I go down and say that I sit with grandma and I'm just like, hey, listen, we're trying to play these numbers, you know, in the household. We need to see how we're showing up at the polls, right? And if grandma is just like, okay, well, I'm gonna vote. I trust that you've gone out and you did whatever it is. We're gonna have a conversation. You tell me what I should think. Let's talk, and then we go out and vote. That is as simple as it has to be. You know, with this new generation that's coming in, that's getting ready to vote. Most of them are gonna vote their parents' interest, because we cannot think that they're going to go through it. I don't know. This new generation different, but
That's what I was getting
just
ready
for
to
the
say.
sake of conversation.
Because I think about David Hogue. I know he vets, and I know everybody who follows him.
But
vets.
remember, those just be small little anomalies in spaces that's larger for the
but
larger
again,
people.
But this is why we're here, because
Right.
we're reaching some folks.
But okay,
And you know, one point I just want to make real quick, because we started saying this thing, because when you look at all of this improprieties, it's like crime pays
yeah.
in Maryland, because
Everywhere.
But it's the way they do the system. So, like, for example, before David Murray got caught, we had sent a request from the state board asking that he be removed and that he be forced to give our school system back every dime that was paid to him.
Yeah.
Same with Judy Mickens Murray. Before her position sunset, we understood her position will sunset before you remove her, but hold her accountable for paying those fake invoices.
Exactly.
What do? They say, well, they're no longer on the board. They gave David. Let me tell you how they gave David Murray time to resign. Now, remember, the state board is supposed to be that arbitrator of our complaints. So they're supposed to be neutral. We get an email. I guess they thought maybe they didn't know that they had the whole chain of the conversation on there. But we get an email telling us that David Murray will be given an extension to respond. And we're like, how can he be given an extension to respond and you didn't notify us?
Right.
So when you start reading down the entire email chain, Michelle Phillips with the State Board of Education, supposed to be our
That name I know.
She sends him an email and said, hey, David, you going to respond to this? Basically.
Right.
And so it would be like a judge calling the defendant saying, hey, you going to appear?
Yeah.
She can't do that. And then he says, hey, Michelle, I'm just seeing this. Well, that meant that it took
ain't
what,
paying
3
attention.
months. It took 3 months for him to read his email.
Exactly.
And so now
because he's working
reading
in
his
a whole
email
other state.
because he's in the whole state.
Yeah.
But now that they canceled but now that he's no longer on the board, they told us it's moot. So you can commit crimes and then resign or let your position sunset, and they don't hold you accountable.
But here's what I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Here's what I contend, that if people know that they can hold these folks accountable, if they send the emails, if they make the phone calls, and if they're relentless in that pursuit, stuff will change. I know, because I've done it.
We just got to get more people.
Yeah, exactly.
It just sounds like a whole lot of colluding to me.
Yeah, well, because that's what it is.
Yeah, so
Yeah. But if they've been getting away with it for so long, and then we don't say nothing.
Well,
Exactly.
kind of what I was going to talk about today, just depending on how you were going to take the conversation. When I was talking about the police officers, they're just a gang that's protected by protected by politics. They're a politically protected gang. So are all these other boards, and and it's really sad, because it's supposed to be, the narrative is the further you get away from local government, the more those people are in corporations' pockets. And so if the reality is our local government, so the ones who are going to church with our grandmothers, eating at the restaurants that we're eating at, the ones who are in distance to be, and they're supposed to hold meetings weekly, if those people are able to evade the wrath of the American people, what hope do we have when it comes to not what hope, what reality are we living in when it comes to how federal government and other higher entities of government are able to swindle us and maneuver through us. So
we got to push back.
We definitely got to start holding our state legislators, especially with our school system, holding them accountable. Because I had 2 senators come to me, and I was just like, you should be embarrassed to even say this to me. But that...
You're talking about state senators?
Yeah, our state senators. So we were talking about HB 1079, and I couldn't believe. He said, well, we wrote that bill so everybody get paid. What do you mean, everybody?
Everybody who?
These are our tax dollars.
Exactly.
And have you read the Constitution? You're not supposed to be writing bills for favoritism for people. And in what universe do you write a bill so that the defendant and the plaintiff bills get paid in the same case by the defendant?
Okay, we're going to have to, we got to have you back. Because, again, I'm learning, okay? And I pay attention. So, but I would really like for you, check your schedule, see when you can come back. Because, again, the more you know, the more effective you can be down the road. And I don't want to get out of studio today because I do want to talk about this debate that's happened. Because, again, politics impacts everything. And this is what we need to understand, embrace, realize, and take action on. We've got to hold these folks accountable. I don't care if you circled that oval in on your ballot or not. Once them Bammers get in office, they are accountable to you. Once them Bammers get in office, their telephone number and their email address should be in your phone, and you should be utilizing it. We got to stop showing up every 2 years, every 4 years, and voting for folks just from name recognition. So I'm gonna let you lead in, Eminem, since you've been relatively quiet for you.
Yes.
Let's talk about this debate thing.
Let's talk about the debate.
Yeah.
Let me see how I'm gonna.
Where you want to start?
Right. Let me see where I'm gonna present it to. Well, I'll definitely start by saying. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't know how intellectual people have conversations with people who are not on their level, because it's just giving a no, and I'm not doing it at all, because I think
I'm sorry.
and I'm being so serious.
I know you are.
I don't know how professors and people who are masters in their knowledge have I'm sitting here thinking dang, I really want to know what my professor was thinking when I had the audacity, wasn't even what they say, wet behind your ears, in there talking like I knew what I was talking about, because the math isn't math, and I'll start with that. But I'll definitely say that it was a lot of lies on both sides. I'll say that the moderators were trash, or whoever was in charge of the mics need to be fired, and they need to pay for what they did. The questions were very vague. I felt like there was a lot of points that we really needed to be talking about that were not even present. Number one, whatever number I'm on. Another thing that I thought was, and I hope a lot of the American people are waking up to the way in which we are being marketed for this election. And I'm just going to say this, especially someone that's a lover of politics and government. Immigration is the least of my problems. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and start there.
Okay.
It's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's really the last.
If it's on the list at all.
Even if it's on the people them list. Number one. So I did not like that it was heavy talk about that when one thing that I felt needed to be discussed was not the state of American families are on the line.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And we're not even just talking about black and minority people.
We're talking about families. Don't matter what color you are.
Caucasian people. Y'all a lot worse off than we are, because this has been our plight for some centuries, you know. So we
know how to navigate.
My dear people, because and it shows based off of. They know what the problem is. I just thought it was very interesting because and I oftentimes come up with this narrative because I am very blessed and very grateful to be put in the position I am, to be 27 in America and functioning the way that I am, planning my life the way that I am. But I'm not naive to know that a lot of people, especially in my generations, but the latter and the former of the generations, are not put in these type of positions to be able to, for one, even know what's happening. I don't take my education lightly, you know. I don't take the gifts and talents that I was given. So it was very sad to see that it was a dog and pony show of entertainment.
Yeah.
But that's not okay, because this is supposed to be the representation of America. I will give Kamala credit. She was very presidential. But even to see the structure of the stage and how it was presented, you're telling me that because a former president could have a temper tantrum about how he wanted his big day to be presented, we totally took out a powerful piece of us as American people.
Exactly.
And we accepted it. And we entertained it.
But again,
I got a lot to say. I'm just
accountability piece. But here's something I really want to drive home. You know, because people don't know how government works. When she was saying policies, even the policies of the Biden administration, those weren't her policies, and Trump was saying, well, why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it? Most people do not understand. Please, if you don't take nothing else, I was getting ready to say a bad word, away from this. Everything starts in the United States House of Representatives. They are the House of Representatives and the Senate are the boss, if you will, of what the president can do. The president carries out those policies because the people's house, you know, you're supposed to be telling your House of Representatives person in your particular district, wherever it is in these 435, this is what I want to see. Right. And then they get there and talk about it, chew it, sort of whatever, and come up with whatever they're going to do. And then the Senate has to agree on it. She cannot, Biden cannot, even Trump could not. Trump just had everybody in his pocket last time. But they're the boss of that. So when you hear him say, well, why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it? Because they can't.
Yeah.
Right. That's not how government works. Right. And all you got to do is take your butt to your search bar and say, what does the House of Representatives do?
I think before we even get to that point, because that's a level of the conversation, but I thought this part was so incredible. That's why I really wanted to watch the show with Malik. And it was just a great experience. I love the younger generation. When he was watching it, I was the commentary. And I realized that he's holding on to every word that I have to say. I'm fact checking in real time. And I noticed how, based off of what my answer was, will determine his response. And I thought it was the cutest thing to see it in real time, because he's young, he's impressionable, and this is what's happening. And it's not even
grader.
just right. And it's so incredible because he's in a government class right now. And so it was one point where when Kamala was talking and I was like, well, that's not true. And he was like, it's not true. And I was like, no, it's not true. And then I'm explaining it to him. And then he's just like, well, yeah, that don't make no sense, you know? And so then Trump will respond and he's like, and this man. And it's like, and I'm seeing it in real time happen. And I would have liked to see, because we're at a place in technology where we can fact check real time. And the one moment that it did happen, it shifted the paradigm of the entire debate. So where
when David Moore was talking about immigrants eating cats and dogs.
Oh no!
That was a fact check.
About killing babies.
Before we get before we can get to the dogs, we first got to talk about these babies. And I'm realizing how common sense is literally not common because for a statement to be made by a former president, that they are killing babies after they are being delivered, for one, it literally can't happen. Right. Those words don't go together because it completely makes a fallacy and a lie.
Yeah.
And the way that he knew that, we have to fact check, and the former president did not concede his knowing, it amped him up to defend and further berate and
they didn't cut his mic. And they didn't cut his mic.
Well, aside from cutting the mic, I think the reality of a former president saying that there are laws in states where it's legal to abort a child after they're born. Like, do you understand how powerful that statement is? But it's literally a lie. Not only is it a lie, it literally cannot happen.
Right.
It's called something else.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah, because it's not abort; they're born.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here.
A felony in all 50 states.
No one gets past that one, right? And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't understand how intellectuals can have conversations with people who are not on their level, because that's the type of dichotomy that's created. And so I think that I don't like that a lot of Black people ascribe to the notion of, just one thing about the Obamas that I wasn't really a fan of, but I believe that my generation is kind of, shifting and moving out of this reality. When they go high, when they go low, we go high. When they go low, we need to take it to hell, okay? I need to
she changed that.
We need to take it to hell.
When you go there, I'm going to meet you.
Oh, yeah. So when they go to hell, I'm meeting you there, because the part that we need to understand, I would have liked to see that shifting in power, because I like I say quite often, I'm not really concerned about who is going to get the mantle in November, because personally,
I am concerned about who takes to the Congress. Who takes the Congress? That is very concerning.
Now, see, and so that's a strategy across state lines that that we have not been presented yet. However, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to this, when you saw the dog and pony show, they are literally just puppets. It's been really interesting to see on social media the way that Kamala, her tactics of trying, because she's appealing to my generation. Right. It's like, we're going to do tax credits for first-time home buyers. We're going to give you $6,000 for first-time parents. Ma'am, ain't nobody having no babies, because for the first 2 weeks of these kids going back to school, I cannot even count how many mass shootings we had. And so at the end of the day, it's really funny to see, because when we were in the car talking about, like, what do we value? What is valuable to us? If you were to ask us this question right now from the debate, there's a few things that they value over us right now, and it's border patrol, it's it's being able to monetize and continue to control the families, so the womb of the woman, and then I would say the last part about it is international affairs and its impact on American people. From this last tug of war, American people have to realize that our interests do not matter. How we're perceived and how our economic buying power is globally is more important than what's going on at home. And so we have to decide what we're going to do about it.
So we will definitely revisit that, because again, we are funding our own oppression. And I get that businesses have been built during slavery that are still that are still functioning now. But when we find out that somebody is funding our oppression, Home Depot, Overstock.com, My Pillow, when we find out that I didn't know about that one. Okay,
I didn't say nothing.
I thought you said Wayfair.
I was shocked when I found out.
I did know that. Well, don't get me started on Wayfair. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, but we're going to come back and revisit, because I really believe that once we get an understanding of how economic power and capitalism play into our oppression, we'll maybe be making some different choices, and that's why that we are putting out black businesses and that kind of thing. That's why we're going to make a concentrated effort to do that. So our time is up. We can't go into the disco version this time. But we're going to be back on next week with some more information. And again, thank you so much, Tanya. Wingfield, not Sweat. Because I've been getting some inquiries in my DM asking why she's not here, and I'm going to address that on next week as well. But be that as it may, it's our time is up. So I'm going to lob the ball to my favorite millennial Eminem to close us out. Or start to close out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna do my thing. But thank you so much, Miss Tanya, for coming in today, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with us. And continuously being in the fight for our community and our voice. We definitely thank you. Anytime that we can sit around like-minded people.
Okay, that's my alarm going off.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out, is it me? Is it my head? Jesus.
It's okay.
I'm glad you said something because I was gonna keep talking. I was gonna try and talk louder than it. Anyway, interrupting my thank you. But no, we really do appreciate, even all the sacrifices that you make to even be in this fight. So thank you so much. And so before we close out the show today, I want you to know that there's so much value in our broadcast. Please go to youtube.com/Angela Taylor 4119 and hit the live tab, like and subscribe. Make it a point to take time to review the broadcast, share with your friends, because no one is going to save us but us. So with that being said, we want you to count your blessings instead of your crosses, count your gains instead of your losses, count your full years instead of your lean, count your kind deeds instead of your mean, count your health instead of your wealth, and by all means count on God instead of yourself. We have 53 days, 10 hours, 2 minutes, and 43 seconds to the next election.
Yes, indeed. And we have to make a change. Democracy is on the ballot. If you would, again, Tanya, give your website information for folks who want to learn about and do something about the school system in Prince George's County, especially, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. And our Facebook page is Citizens for Accountability and Governance. And every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we do our CAG chat. So you can find that on Facebook.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. And again, here at We the People, we truly believe that there is good in the world. Yeah. And we challenge each and every one of you to go out there and be the good. This is 821. We are out.
Yes. Oh, what's that?